Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 20 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Man, I'm good. That was a fun introduction.
Yeah, I'll be curious what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoyed that intro. We're using the new screen sharing with audio ability to do that one, which allows you to do sort of nicer countdowns since you can share audio now. So that's kind of fun. For anyone new here, the reason why we do these town halls live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern is to make sure we're using our product and staying in tune with it, making sure we're delivering the best possible experience for you guys. And the three pillars of StreamYard are ease of use, professional looking streams, and stability. So if you guys are about those three things, StreamYard is probably for you. So let's start with a recap of last week. So last week we released themes, which is, I'm using the new one now. So now you can change how banners and comments look, which is, if you're looking for a more subtle sort of maybe professional look, this is a pretty nice feature in my opinion. Yes. We also increased the limit of the studio. So it's still 6 on screen, but you can now have 10 people in the StreamYard room, which is good if you're doing sort of, I've seen people run into the 6-person limit if they're doing a more long form stream, maybe several hours where they're cycling in lots of guests. It's nice to have a bit of a buffer there where you can sort of have more people in the waiting room than you have on screen, if that makes sense.
The other one I've seen, Gage, is that you're just doing 6 people, but somebody has 2 tabs open.
Oh, yes.
And you're just trying to explain, like, all right, everyone, do you have a second tab? And like, if they're not very tech savvy, it's like, well, I don't think so. And like, somebody has an extra tab.
Yeah, I'm assuming most people watching probably haven't run into it, but if you have run into it, you definitely know that it's a pain if you run into that. And then, of course, screen sharing with audio, which that's how we did that timer at the beginning of this stream. That seems to be the main thing. Well, not the main thing, but one of the major ways I see people using it is it's nice to be able to do longer form intros, because we do have video uploads, but the limit's 30 seconds. But screen sharing with audio, if you want to do like a long countdown with music, it's good for that, or just showing like YouTube clips. One tip for that, in order to make it function as good as possible, it's generally a good idea to open whatever the file is in a Chrome tab and share it as a Chrome tab. Anything to add there, Dan? Oh yeah, there's no more add-on, right?
Yeah, so I can just go over like the list of, because we made a few screen sharing improvements. But yeah, first of all, totally agree. If you're going to share a video or something, it is nice to open it in Chrome. So I don't know how you do that. I usually just drag and drop it into Chrome. Like I open a new Chrome tab and then just drag the file into Chrome.
I usually right click it, but that seems like a more elegant way to do it.
Like right click open in Chrome?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, if you actually open the file in Chrome, and that'll be like MP4 file or WebM, and then share that.
Yeah.
Better. So yeah, the improvements, we had a couple things. So obviously screen sharing now has audio. That was the biggest one. But there is a couple others. So there was an issue I know a few people are having, especially if your device was a little bit slower. There's an issue where your screen share might start to lag a bit. And by that,
the audio would sort of
delay. Yeah, so like you're on your screen moving stuff around, but then on StreamYard, it's 2 seconds delayed or something, so it doesn't match exactly what you're saying. So that should be totally fixed now. And let me know if you have any issues with that. But I think we've gotten rid of that lag, which is awesome. What else we got? We're not cropping the screen anymore. So we used to have it where you share a screen, and then if it was wider than 16:9, we would cut the sides. Whereas now we're just like optimizing the space perfectly and kind of centering it nicely. So I know a few people mentioned that before. That one's fixed. And then the other one, which is kind of cool, is what you just said. You don't need an extension anymore.
Yeah.
So that's, if you already have the extension, I mean, it's not a big difference, but no extension. And that's for Chrome 74 Plus. So that's the newest Chrome right now. If you're on Chrome 74 Plus, you'll get audio and you don't need an extension. And
Michael, if you share a Chrome tab, it shouldn't show the browser bar. If you're sharing the whole Chrome application, you'll see the browser bar. But if you opt for the tab option, that shouldn't be an issue, right, Dan?
I think so. Let me try it right now. So we'll go new tab, screen share, Chrome tab. Bring me in.
Yeah, no browser window. Right on.
So yeah, that's like when you have that screen share picker, it's the far right Chrome tab. But if you share Chrome as an application, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, so I'll take that out. The next topic is, of course, we've got a feature announcement tonight, which is, it's not quite as exciting as last week, but it's something that people have been asking for a long time. So hopefully you guys are happy about it. And that is that you can now mute your guests, which, Michael, I think I saw you in here. I know you asked for this a lot because this is important, especially if you're if you've got some guests on that might be playing like copyright music or something, and you want to quickly mute them to make sure your stream doesn't get turned off or shut off, or maybe there's just someone has to attend to some sort of emergency in the background. You just are able to mute them without it disrupting the stream. But you could always remove people from the stream, but I know some people just want to mute them, so it maybe are not kicked out entirely. But so yeah, hopefully you guys are excited about that. Anything you want to add there, Dan?
Yeah, I was really curious, to be honest. Like I was hesitant to add this one just because I feared like, just take the person out, right? Like just remove them for a bit while there's noise. But I do totally get how that's it's pretty disruptive to remove someone, especially if you have like 3 or 4 people and like everything shifts around and then you got to bring them back. It's in a different order now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a much more subtle way to just like someone's kid starts crying in the background. I'm gonna mute them for a second. The one thing just to mention, so it allows you to just mute your guest mic and then unmute it, but you can only unmute it if you were the one that muted it. So if somebody muted themselves, you can't unmute their mic.
Yeah, probably a good idea security-wise.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm fully understanding this one, Michael. It would be nice to have animated credentials rolling at the bottom of the screen, so backgrounds that can be animated. Do you mean like a moving banner? Is that what you're meaning, Michael? Let us know. Sounds like people are excited about the ability to mute. It's a funny thing to be excited about. Yes, we can mute people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
my annoying guess. No, I get it. Like I think the most common one I've seen is maybe it's someone's kid is crying in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, just a second, they leave, but they don't mute themselves, right? And then like, oh. So now you can handle that.
That's a good question, Latoya. No, if you remove your video, you'll lose audio, but we do have, which if you check out our tutorials, it should cover it in like the Exploring the Studio segment. But if instead of removing yourself, you use the solo layout buttons, so look, I can full screen Dan here, but you can obviously still hear me. So instead of removing yourself, you want to use these solo layout buttons, and I could do it to myself. And why don't you say something, Dan?
Yo.
Yeah, so he's still part of the broadcast, just sort of in the background. So you want to use those buttons instead of removing the person entirely.
Yeah. Same thing for screen share. If you want to do like a full screen but still hear yourself.
It's mute individually, right, Dan?
Right now, yeah, it's mute individually.
Is it a global? I know people wanted the global mute as well, but we'll probably add that at some point. Ross Brand's a fan of this. Nice. Dale, nice to see you here.
There's one actually it's kind of a pro tip, and I'm sure some people have found it, but not many, is if you're the host, right, you can mute people now by clicking the mic icon. It'll be just on their picture at the bottom.
Yeah.
But you can also do things by just right-clicking on the video. So like on the big video itself, you can just right-click on somebody, and that lets you full screen them or mute them or.
Yeah, that's true. Most people probably don't know that, but it's a hard thing to explain. But if you actually like the video, if you're in the StreamYard studio looking at the video, if you hover over, like say I'm hovering over Dan right now, and you right click, there's actually options there for you to do some stuff.
Yeah, it's a little more.
Yes, it's just the host abilities. I mean, people can obviously mute themselves, but only the host can. Your guest can't just turn you off. That would be kind of funny though, but probably not ideal. Dale would like a ticker tape. Noted, Dale. When will the guest meeting become available? It'll be tonight, April. We'll be releasing it tonight. Those are also called lower third titles, which can be animated. I think I missed something. As a reminder to people here, because we don't get that many messages on it, but I think it is a cool feature that we have. If you're ever running into problems while you're broadcasting, we do have this nice link at the very bottom of the studio you can click, and it actually opens up Messenger where you can talk directly to us. Just reminding people that we have that, just because I don't actually see people using it all that often. One question I wanted to ask people watching is we just released a couple weeks ago, we released our first basic set of tutorials. And I was curious what tutorials you'd like to see next, because I think I'm going to make a more advanced set of tutorials as well. So I was curious what subjects you're interested in, what are you hoping to learn more about, like what are sort of areas that you're unfamiliar with that would be helpful for us to cover. And then we were also curious about how you're using screen sharing with audio. We talked about how that's how we did our long countdown tonight with the music. We were using the screen sharing option with audio. So be curious what you guys think of the new feature and the ways you're using it.
For sure, yeah. That's another good one. You have someone as echo.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, I forgot about that. That's a very good point. Is you can sort of control the situation yourself because they might not know what's going on. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. I think Michael just means like a scrolling banner essentially.
Yeah.
When you have multiple guests and someone has that's the one you're reading, Dan?
No, there's a different one.
Okay,
so a second ago.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point, Ross.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I honestly didn't think much about that one at all.
Dean's just agreeing with Michael there. Yeah, we're able to see the YouTube and the Facebook chat, John, and Periscope, but we don't get too many viewers on Periscope. Hopefully one day we'll get more.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Michael likes the ability to click the videos.
Yeah, I honestly prefer it. It's fast and it just feels natural.
Ross, those are StreamYard options. So it's like things like solo layout, removing a guest. You can do all those things with right-clicking. Are there any more? There's probably more that I'm missing.
Well, you could right-click on me and.
I guess that's a good point. That's true. Nope, there's two: solo layout and remove from stream. There you go.
And it'll be mute mic as well once we.
Oh yeah, and now we'll have mute mic as well.
And then same thing with like if you're screen sharing, you can do the same thing, right? Just right-click on the large screen and just full screen layout or mute or unmute the.
Yeah, you can interact with all the videos. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks for joining us, Shakita. Thanks, Nicole. That's kind of you.
Right on.
JR sounds like he's using screen sharing a similar way that we do. Pre-roll video and music before the live stream. Yeah, I think it's nice, especially if you don't have it scheduled. It's nice to sort of have something for people to watch while you're waiting for people to join.
Yeah.
That's the best way to use it. Michael says, I would love a choice of being able to put my guest in the main picture, not the guest solo. If my guest is talking, I want them as the main focus in these smaller. Yes, I understand what you're talking about. So basically, instead of just highlighting the person in full screening, sort of Dan occupying my spot, essentially. That's come up a couple of times, and I agree that would be a cool feature, absolutely.
And I think just to add to it, I think it's the layout where you're big and I'm small.
Yeah, this one, right? Being able to switch me and Dan. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
It'd be a nice right click option. That's Roy. I don't know if he's talking about that, but it would be a good one. Right click, whatever you'd call it, whatever this layout's called.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The leader layout, let's call it.
Latoya says a tutorial on how to create super cool overlays in Canva. Yes, that was actually one of the planned ones I was going to do. I was actually going to show how to do it in Google Slides, just because I'm more familiar with Slides than Canva, even though Canva is a cool program. The one thing I like about Slides is that you can make the background transparent and it's free, whereas in Canva you do have to pay for that, but Canva is an awesome program, so if you're using it for other stuff, might as well pay for it. But that's actually what I used in our tutorial videos, is I just use Google Slides, and for just making some cool, basically just pictures I was showing on screen, almost like a PowerPoint presentation. It's super nice to be able to just, because it's already the right size, right? The slides are 1280 by 720, and you can just set the background to transparent and put images on there and make any sort of overlay you want. Probably along with that, how to make videos would be a good one as well. Maybe walk through some of the programs that are out there, like Shaker and Bitable and Wave, those types of things.
Yeah.
Michael says he loves the product. We're doing our Wednesday show using StreamYard only. Awesome. I'd be curious, what kind of stuff are you doing in that show, Michael? Because I know your game show is obviously super involved, so it's hard to only use StreamYard. What kind of stuff are you doing on the Wednesday show? Is it just more of a talk show? Dale, because we're multicasting it, we can't do that right now, but we're working on an alternative way to do it, because I know people do have trouble finding it when it's not scheduled. So stay tuned for that. Yes, that video. I missed something. Maybe about the tutorials. JR asks, how do you stream to multiple Facebook pages or groups at the same time? So the way Dan and I are going live to Facebook and YouTube right now is using a program called Restream. But if you just want to go to multiple Facebook pages or groups, you don't really need to use Restream. A good way to do that is to just schedule the broadcast to your page, to your main page, using StreamYard, and then just share that link wherever you want. So share the link to another Facebook page or share that link to a group. That's I think if I'm just going live on multiple Facebook locations, I think that's my preferred way to do that. I know some people, there is like cross posting on Facebook, but it's a bit clunky, and I've seen a lot of people run into issues with it, like just because I think Facebook, I don't think very many people use the feature, so there's some weirdness with Facebook with cross posting. So I think sharing the link's probably your best bet.
Cross posting definitely has some benefits, but one of the downsides is it only works for pages.
Yes, that's true as well. You can't cross post to a group, so yeah, that's a good point. Ross is a fan of the new comments. We appreciate that, Ross. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, it's very subtle.
Dale says the streams are too hard to find. We apologize, Dale. Yeah, I think on Facebook it's definitely a bit annoying, but it does have that little alert, I think. But we'll work on it. Michael Daniels, I would love that. Right click. I think he's talking about right clicking for the leader layout. That's a good name. I like that.
The leader layout.
Pass the torch for.
Because you're not the host, but you are the leader temporarily.
Julie's a fan of Google Slide tutorial. I'll definitely do that, because it's pretty easy, and it's great for if you're just need some graphics for a stream. It's perfect for that, where you can just find some random royalty-free, like I can't think of it, stock photos. If you just want to throw some stock photos on screen, it's awesome for that.
Yeah, very simple.
And yes, Jennifer's right. It's the Restream is a paid or it's part of our paid. To have access to Restream, it's part of the StreamYard paid version, and it's also Restream is a paid product only if you're using Facebook. It's free if you're not using Facebook.
Yeah.
Michael's also a fan of slides.
Pixeler.
It's a tech show, tinkering with tech. Awesome. I think I might have actually watched one of the episodes. I'll have to go back and check it out.
Cool.
Jennifer says the paid version of Canva is more than worth the cost. Awesome. I haven't used it very much, so I'll have to check it out, because I know they have a great library of photos. So
yeah,
maybe I should check it out.
I'm sure it's one of those tools. Well, first of all, if you have a lot of uses for it, I'm sure it's quite useful. But also, it's the type of thing where if you invested time to actually get decent at it, it's probably a lot more useful than
absolutely
when you first started. I mean, not to the extent of something like Photoshop, but
yeah I'm also a big fan of Figma. We use Figma for a lot of stuff, but again, it's much more complicated than Canva. Did you hear about that, Dan? Canva, they had a major security breach recently. Hey? They lost like it was like 300 million emails or something.
Oh wow! Lost or like gave away?
Like their database got hacked. You can make a Facebook event. Yes, we could make an event. Luckily, I don't think it was that big of a deal though, because I think all their passwords were all encrypted in the database, so I don't think anyone lost passwords. But it's never good when that happens.
Yikes.
Schedule your broadcast, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's like the how do you go on multiple pages, I think.
Well, that's a good question, Ross. I'd be curious to ask you guys the same thing because I'm actually not that familiar about that. But yeah, Restream goes to 30 sites. Have you guys tried any of the lesser known sites? Are there any that you would recommend for talk shows and podcasts? That is a great question that I wish I had a great answer to because I have not explored them much. There are a lot. It is an interesting idea though because getting in early on a new platform probably has some benefits. I don't know that for sure, but obviously a lot of the people that are big on Twitch are big on YouTube started relatively early, so it is interesting to explore them. But yeah, honestly, I'm not very familiar with them.
A lot are gaming focused too, right?
Yeah, most of them are gaming focused, I think. One that I know has grown a ton recently is something called D Live, with the letter D Live.tv. I don't know much about it other than it's growing fast,
but gaming.
It's also gaming focused. I don't know of any that are good for talk shows. I'd have to look at the list more closely. Facebook is probably your best bet for talk shows, I'd imagine. Facebook and YouTube, which obviously
Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn.
Yeah, that would be my thought.
If Instagram will open up their API, that would be nice.
Absolutely. Chuck says presenter media is good. I'll have to check that out. I have no idea what that is. Is that a streaming platform, Chuck?
It might be something for making Canva.
Oh, that is probably like a Canva alternative. Yeah. Can we do it on Android, invite others, and record it on free StreamYard? I'm going to just take a guess at this. I think on StreamYard, on the free version, you can invite a guest that's on an Android phone or an iOS phone, and you can stream to YouTube and make it private, and that's great for creating a recording on YouTube. StreamYard doesn't do the recording, but if you just want to make a recording, streaming it live to YouTube to a private broadcast is great for that. Ross says he'll do some exploring. Wants to check out Mixer. Yeah, Mixer is a cool platform, but yes, it is mostly gamers. They are one of the more unique ones because they're not like Facebook and YouTube. They use a different type of, try not to sound too technical.
Protocol?
Yeah. I was trying to think of another word. The way they send information to people is slightly different than the way that Facebook and YouTube send information. So there's much less latency. Like, as most of you probably know, when you're doing a Facebook live stream, it's not like truly live. There's like a 10-second delay, whereas Mixer is more like a second or 500 milliseconds type of thing, which is kind of cool. But again, yeah, almost all gaming focused.
Yeah,
I think.
For now, yeah. And I mean, that's one of the things, like even Twitch has their IRL type thing, but the platform is still focused on gaming stuff. So like everything about it feels.
Everyone in the IRL section on Twitch is a former gamer or an ex-professional gamer. It seems like their art stuff is picking up. I have seen some bigger ones where people are doing like drawings and stuff like that, which is cool, or comics, that type of stuff.
Right on.
Like comic book writers type stuff.
I see. Yeah, that's cool.
Jennifer says, I do a lot of posting on Instagram and Facebook plus web design, great for YouTube thumbs and headers, and a ton more, including more font options and saving your brand colors and fonts. Awesome. If you need some designs, hit up Jennifer. I was disappointed that we could not get comments for Twitch on the game show the other night. They could not help. Oh, Restream wasn't pulling in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look into that more, Michael.
One thing I've heard, and I don't know if this would work, I just know I've heard somebody else say it, is I think it was Twitch specifically wasn't getting comments through Restream. Assuming you're talking about Restream, but you might not.
He's talking about Restream, yeah.
Okay, is if you go to Restream and you go into the chat section, so like you start looking at the chat on Restream, just the act of doing that will allow us to start it's like Restream isn't even bothering to grab the comments from Twitch, and going to the Restream chat thing on Restream's website starts triggering that, and then we're able to grab the comments from Restream. So I'd be interested. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but if you go to Restream, open up their chat section, if suddenly they start coming into StreamYard, because I
have heard of that, fixing it quite a few times. Unfortunately, with Michael, I think it wasn't even showing up on the Restream dashboard for some reason, which is there's not much we can do when that happens. So I don't know. How can we use multiple presenters but fill boxes with photos rather than people? You can't fill boxes with photos, but the best way I would suggest doing that is to just make custom overlays. So just upload an overlay and you can put the image wherever you want and talk about it that way. Or screen share works great for that. Just share open up a bunch of pictures in a PDF or a slide deck and just share the slide deck is how I would go about doing that right now.
Yeah, so I'd be interested, Amber, if you have actual guests that you want to, maybe they don't have a camera and you want to have pictures of them, or is this just you want to have like a unique broadcast where they're all you and you're just trying to show pictures in general?
I think I think she just means like literally putting pictures in the broadcast.
Okay, yeah.
Stream Deck, yeah, lots of people have asked about Stream Deck. I do think that'd be a cool integration. It probably won't happen that soon, but we are looking into it. All right, I think we've covered most of the questions, and it's almost 6:30, so we'll let you guys get back to your Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us on episode number 20 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Wow, episode 20. Right on.
We're getting up there.
Yeah, very cool. See you guys.